Hi Platform, I'm Coralie and I'm author/illustrator of The Song of the Tree, and today we're going to talk about how to be an illustrator. So I'm going to start with tools. Now you can experiment with anything you want because you name it, someone's made an illustration with it. What I use is the basics: pencils, paper, fine liners. I use a light box so I can trace my images again and again. I use a Wacom tablet, I use my computer, and the programs I use are Illustrator, Photoshop and InDesign. And also experimenting with different techniques. Just follow your heart and just do what you feel is right for that picture. So I obviously use the computer a lot, but you do not need to use the computer. It's all about drawing and pencils and paper and just keeping it lo-fi and getting your style down and experimenting and enjoying what you do. So once you've got your tools ready, what about inspiration and what you're going to draw? So for me, I get inspiration everywhere. It's in even the tiniest of things. I like the cinema, watching movies, so my brain's thinking about other things while it's coming up with ideas. I love walking, bookshops, packaging, nature. I'm really inspired by the history of book design and illustration, especially by some people called William Blake and William Morris. And I love animals. So for my latest book, when I was walking around, I got really obsessed by birds, and they started to come into my drawings and my pictures, and that's what my latest book came about. Through inspiration, I find what makes me passionate and what makes me want to create new things. So for passion, I found that I love pattern. I'm obsessed by pattern, especially the patterns of William Blake. I love packaging, I love colours, I love books. And again, I'm obsessed by nature and animals, which you can see in all of my books that I've written and illustrated. I find that a lot of my inspiration is also very therapeutic. I like to create things that make sense of what's going on in my head and my emotions around certain things. I like to make work that shows my journey and vulnerability, that kind of, when I create things that are honest and open, they generally resonate with other people because they have those feelings too. So it's a little bit more, tells a bit more of a story. So when you find your passion, you don't really mind making mistakes and trying again when it's not quite right, because passion helps you enjoy that repetition, and every time you do something, you learn something new. So if it's something you feel excited about, you'll just want to keep going. So you found your tools, you found your passion, you found your subject. So how do you get better and better and better? I would say that there's just not one way to become an illustrator. There's so many ways. It isn't just about going to university and doing a degree. I didn't actually study illustration at university. I did a lot of evening classes, I did a lot of online tutorials, and I read widely around the subject. So I sort of brought lots of my own passions and interests into learning how to become an illustrator. Also, you can try different things like printmaking, or if you're interested in fashion or textiles, you can put that into your work and create projects around that. And it's all about experimentation and really thinking about what you enjoy and why you want to do it. So when you're trying to get better and better, it's a really good idea to be surrounded by people who are also doing what you're trying to do. So it's about finding a community. Things like joining an association or a club. There is an association of illustrators which is full of brilliant advice and get-togethers, so you can meet other people doing what you're doing. There's like doodle clubs, there's collage clubs that are happening, and it's just a really nice way to meet other illustrators and get help and advice and see what they're up to. Maybe there's a gallery near you. Go to talks and events and see exhibitions. A really nice way to meet local people is craft markets and illustration fairs, so you can go and chat to people about what they're doing and why they're doing it. Maybe if you're a little bit shy, which I am, it's quite nice to just be around your friends and do it with your friends, or start a community online, because it just feels a little bit less out there. So you've got your community, you've got your tools, you've got some inspiration. What I did was I started to do self-initiated projects. I found things that I really loved to do. I found what makes my heart sing, and I did things my way. There were so many ways to draw the same thing, and that's what's exciting about illustration. With my self-initiated projects as well, I just built up a lot of work, and I practiced and I developed skills. My biggest self-initiated project was my Fox and the Star, which was my first book. So you never know where your work will go. Also, what is really nice is to make things and send them to people you want to work with or you want to work for. Like, everybody loves a little bit of handmade illustration. So you've done your work, you want to get noticed. A really good way to do it is to enter competitions. They're not saying you have to win, it's just really good exposure, and you get to practice on briefs that are real life projects. And you never ever know who might see your entry or your work and fall in love with it. There are so many competitions that you can enter. There are student competitions and there are professional competitions. Just do some research and see what interests you and what you can enter. So you've got all your tools, you've got your work, and you're doing some self-initiated projects. One really good thing is social media. You don't have to ask permission to do that. It's there, you can find an audience, you can find other people that are doing stuff like you get inspiration. It's just such a good way to make friends and connections and get your work seen, because again, you'll never know who's looking and who might see it. Okay, so you're getting your work out there, you're getting your work seen, but it's really important that you don't compare yourself to other people. You've got to be kind to yourself, and you've got to remember that it takes so many small steps to create a big body of work. No one expects you to do it overnight. Being shy is okay. As I said, I'm really shy. You have to find your own voice, and you have to believe that somewhere, someone will champion you for your individuality, because everybody is different. And I always dream big, even though I feel that it's crazy, but some big stuff has happened, and you have to believe in yourself. So having said all that, I think it's really about finding what works for you and keeping hold of that. You always will learn new stuff. There's so much stuff to learn out there, but just be patient and really enjoy what you do. Even when you're working as a professional illustrator, there's always new stuff to learn, always something else going on. But just find what works for you. That's what I do, and just keep hold of it. And just keep the passion and the love and the excitement alive. Hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to subscribe to see more bookish videos.